Hello, everyone. Well, here it is, Sunday, October 2nd, 2022. I'm in my back patio here in Santa Monica, California. Got back from Minnesota on Wednesday, and it was just an absolute fantastic trip, as it always is. A week is really even not enough. As far as seeing everybody, I went needing to lay low, just because, even though I'm doing really well, I feel I'm doing really well, um, I still needed to take precautions and conserve my energy and balance out visiting time with downtime and time in nature. And I feel like I did a pretty good job. But I admit that, let's not. I mean, let's be real. It's hard to go home. I love going back to Minnesota to see everybody who means so much to me. I mean, family and friends, and there was a whole bunch of people I wasn't able to see when I was there. And for those of you who I did not see, just know that you're in my heart, and there is only so much time, and I really had to try and balance my energy as much as possible. But there's always the stress of feeling like I'm not getting to everybody that I would love to see, and there's so many of you that I would love to see. But this trip just was not. I had to just really be cautious. And for those of you who came to my dad to visit, thank you so much. And usually when I'm there, I'm driving here and there and everywhere, and it's like it's like a puzzle. You're trying to fit everybody in. When are they available? What days and times? And okay, they can do it on that day, and then okay, well, but then I got to plan this and that, and it's for those of you who moved away from home, what it's like to come back, and it's busy. So, but like I said, I had to really honor myself and say no sometimes to certain things that it just wrenched my heart. But that's part of my issues. Part of my issues are, I've given so much of myself in my life. Maybe I've even overextended myself. Dare to say, yes, if I'm really honest. And oftentimes have, neglected myself and what I needed, in those times. If I needed more time to myself or more rest time or whatever in my life, I always had a hard time saying no to people. Subbing classes, training clients. Life is a constant ongoing process of learning how to balance so many things and juggle so many balls and, in the air, and yet keep ourselves centered and rested and taking care of ourselves and putting ourselves first on the priority list. It's hard for us humans to do, or maybe not everybody, but for me, being an empath and having so much care and love for people, I just want to be there for them. But what I'm also learning is I have to be, first and foremost, I have to be here for myself, especially in this healing journey. Whew. I mean, I feel like I've, been coming out of a survival place. I look back at this year and it's like a blur. The summer was a blur. So, in the last couple of months, since early August, I feel like I've kind of finally come out of the cave, out of hibernation, and I was down there pretty deep. But I've been feeling really good the last couple of months, and I don't really want to focus on, the CA-125, my tumor marker, but it is an indicator of cancer activity in my body. And, you know, as I've shared in the past, that number 35 and below is considered normal. And in July, I was up to 6,000. So just means lots of cancer activity. And in my last blood test a couple of weeks ago, it was down to 300 something. So there's been a big response to liquid healing chemo, which I get 3 times a month, 3 weeks in a row, and then a week off, which allowed me to go to Minnesota. But unfortunately, when I came back, I was supposed to have chemo this week on Friday, or Thursday. Would have been my first of the next 3, but I came back with a cold. I started feeling it on Tuesday evening, the night before we left, and I'm like, no. Yeah, full-blown cold. And I've tested a few times for COVID, and I'm negatives, which I'm grateful for. Just riding it out. I feel better today. Still have a little bit of a stuffy nose, but sore throat is pretty much gone the last few days. So, but again, bottom line is, I feel like I'm doing well. I had a wonderful trip visiting, very heart fulfilling, lots of laughs, as always with my family, lots of tears this time. It was one of my most touching moments was when my uncle met us, and my uncle, he sat with me on my dad's couch, and he just held my hand, and we had tears. He said, to be honest, I didn't know if I was going to see you again. I said, yeah, I had moments of wondering that too, whether I was going to see some of the people that I love. I've been to some dark places in this journey in the last year. And, when you've been to that edge, and you're kind of looking over, you've heard me speak about this before. It's the greatest humbler on the planet is when we face that moment, whenever that is, and none of us know when it is. And some of us can taste it because we're in a situation where we've had to really face that reality. I mean, it's one thing to think about it, it's another thing to feel it. And yeah, it's ultimately, mountains over time get worn down by life. Everything goes back to the earth, everything goes back to the stars, I mean, that's our greater consciousness is all of that, is what I believe anyway. That when we're in this physical body living life, we know, yeah, we're all gonna cross that bridge one day, but until we are put in a situation that really makes you realize, Jesus, this could be sooner than later. That wasn't in my agenda. That wasn't in my life plan. The truth is, when none of us, was it John Lennon who said, life is what's happening when we're making plans? We make plans and then it's petals to the wind. We have no idea what the Creator, what our destiny is. We just have to keep marching forward as if, right? Fake it till you make it, as they say. But anyway, so yeah, my Uncle Menace had that moment of real heart feeling moments of tears and just being so grateful. So grateful that we were able to see each other, and when you don't know if that's going to happen anymore, and you realize the gift it is. And so that's how I felt going back to Minnesota, was just feeling so grateful to see these people, and my heart just, it ached because there was just so much love. It's so deep, and as I said in my video walking through the woods of Minnesota the other day, it's like the fabric, these people, that part of the world is the fabric of my being. It's the upbringing, it's the walking on the land, our place on the lake. Thank you, Terry and Al Retzel, for allowing me to, the owners now, allowing me to be there for a short time last week, and just to be in the place where I was brought into this lifetime is profound. And I've always seen this as a rebirth for me, so I thought it was quite symbolic. And what was really symbolic, and I didn't schedule it, by the way, you know this, if you've been following me, you know I was supposed to have this trip in early August, and I couldn't because of my health. There was just no way. And I was supposed to be in Africa at this time with my dad and Gigi, and obviously that didn't happen either. But for another time, as one of my friends, Kathy Johnson, says, you're in it for the long game here, Lisa, not just the short game. You have belief that you'll be there at another time, and I will be. But what I was going to say was, what was I going to say? Oh, I just wasn't able to come to Minnesota in August because of my health. And so I'm just grateful that, there's just been so much going on with me. But, I just decided in August that I was going to, imagine myself and see myself moving forward and stop dwelling on being sick, not being unwell. Even though I never really saw myself as being sick, quote unquote. Yeah, you're dealing with cancer, but I never really saw myself as sick. But I also couldn't see myself getting beyond. I mean, I would have moments, but I don't know. Ever since in the meditation in August, I just have been like, we're looking forward and we're planning ahead, and we're living as if, and I'm focusing on my wellness, not my unwellness, if that makes sense. So yes, it's been a journey, and it's been a mindset and a shift from where I was back in July. And yeah, like I was saying, the depth of my feeling for my family and my friends, and again, those of you that I didn't even see, you're just in my heart. And love, it expands our heart to the point where it aches. And that's why when we lose somebody, like when we lose Little Miss or whomever we love, the ache is so great. The level of ache we feel in our heart when we lose someone, or just feeling love for someone, it's because our heart is expanding. Love expands our heart and who we are. It's not intellectual. It's, I love these people. I don't know who I am, but I do know that ever since I was little, I've just loved life and loved people and loved animals and loved nature and love to laugh, and I love music, and I love to move. Movement equals life. As I always say, I haven't been teaching my classes online yet, although I have pre-recorded some classes. And for those of you who continue to do them every week, I'm impressed. I applaud you. So I know I'm all over the map with this update, but all is well. All is well. Healing, wholeness, pulling my energy back, pulling my power back, learning to put the oxygen mask on my face first to take care of me. And sometimes that requires saying no to others. And that's really, really hard for someone like me, because I've spent my whole life serving And I want to continue to serve in this world because I believe in humanity, and I believe, as dire as it can seem on this planet, as dire as it can seem, but I will always be the eternal optimist because I know that deep inside of all of our layered crap that we're carrying around, we are the most divine, amazing beings. We are part of the creation. We are a unique expression of the divine. We were meant to come here and shine. But we learned from little on, in one way, shape, or form, through osmosis, from society, from modeling of our parents, from whatever it is. I mean, we're all in this boat together of the human stew. We've learned to suppress, not to shine too bright. We don't want to overshadow anybody, but this is all what we're taught, to suppress who we are. Oh God, society does a number on us, doesn't it? But it's all about finding our true, authentic self that we were born in this life embodying, and we didn't let it go, but we buried it. And so I really believe that this life is just about rediscovering who we ultimately were born to be and who we came into this world to be. We chose on some level, our soul chose on some level to be this unique expression of God. And it's a beautiful life, and I will always see it as beautiful no matter what. And I've also shifted my mentality of, again, I'm going to find my joy in life, and I'm going to live life now regardless of what the circumstances are, to the best of my ability, because life is happening now no matter what our circumstances are. And I talked about this in my update video a month ago, right? We always think we are waiting for circumstances to be perfect, to be right, before we can allow ourselves to enjoy life or find joy, and that's just not true. That's an illusion, and the longer we buy into that illusion, life is just passing us by. I want to capture it as much as I can through my awareness, and I feel like I'm doing that. And so, anyway, they had to postpone here I'm jumping back to the chemo, liquid healing. They had to postpone my chemo because of my cold, and I'll probably be back to it this week, on Thursday again. So, and continuing with the Joe Dispenza meditations, the cancer study, that's going well. In October, this will be our last month of the 3-month study, where we do weekly meditations, and this month it's at a different day and time. I think it's on Sundays. And for those of you who join in with me, and wherever you are in the world, I really appreciate it. I appreciate all of your love and prayers and meditations and healing vibes, and your donations who've helped me financially, so allowing me to have so many alternative holistic treatments that have helped to support my healthy cells. And I feel that's a big reason why I keep defying the odds, as my doctors say. No, I'm not a statistic. I'm Lisa. I've always said that. So don't compare me to statistics. Ovarian cancer, yeah, it's got its story, but my story is my story. And this has been my personal awakening, spiritual awakening, that has brought me right to my core in the biggest way. And I'm grateful for all the gifts, as hard as it's been. But all of you, in whatever way you have contributed, you have lifted me when I couldn't walk myself. And there is no greater gratitude that I can express. So we all need each other. We all like to be independent, self-sufficient, and because then we feel in control. But sometimes life strips us of everything to teach us that we can't do it all ourselves. We need to allow ourselves to be lifted, to be carried. And Little Miss was that for me for 35 years. So it's been a big adjustment without her, but all of you have helped me through this, I guess, dark time. But there's been so much light, and there will continue to be. All right, long enough. I love you all. Minnesota, thank you. My loved ones, thank you for seeing me, and for those of you who I did not see, I will see you next time, hopefully. Okay? All right. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Love you. Thank you for everything.